Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we are trying to discuss Hibernate information. So today we are going to discuss Spring Boot to Hibernate here. So how exactly we are going to connect with the Spring Boot Hibernate here? So basically, like whenever we are trying to connect with the Spring with JDBC, so what are the ways we connected to the Spring with JDBC here? So basically, the Spring introduced one important concept here, something called JDBC template. Right. So using the JDBC template here, now what we are going to do with the reference of this particular JDBC template, we'll try to connect it with the database, right? Now, what I'm going to do, same way. So today we are going to discuss with the Hibernate using Hibernate template here. Using Hibernate template here. So before we are going to discuss with the Hibernate template here, first we need to understand the some of the concepts so which are going to provided by the Hibernate here. So basically the three components here, these are the three very important components we need to understand here. First one called lazy loading. Lazy loading. And another one eager loading. And cascade. Cascade. So these are the three very important concepts we need to understand here. Cascading. Cas so basically, in the which scenario we are going to work on this particular lazy loading and what exactly it's contain this particular lazy loading here. Getting the point. So lazy loading is nothing but, so for example, so in the previous example we discussed something called item and bed here. Getting the point. So this is the item and this section is indicating bed here. Inside this particular item we identified here one-to-many relationship or many-to-many relationship here. So this is a item class and this is the bed class. So to work on this particular relations here, what we identified here, we will try to create some set of objects here, something called get bits. So internally, what we are doing here, we are trying to return has set object here. Is nothing but we are having multiple objects here. Getting the point. So carefully observe, same way, whenever we are trying to load this particular bit, internally, what happens? We'll try to load this particular get item. Right. So here also we are going to create. So just for understanding, I'm trying to provide has set object here. But basically, what happens internally? We are going to get multiple objects here. Getting the point. So we are going to get multiple objects here. So now we can understand here. So whenever we are trying to load this particular item internally, we are trying to load this particular set of bits. So it's nothing but multiple bit records we are loading. Same way, whenever we are trying to load this particular bit here internally, we are trying to load multiple item records here. But sometimes what happens here, so we don't want to load this particular item records. We don't want to load this particular item records. We need only this particular bit of object information. Getting the point. So we need only this particular bit record. We don't want to load this particular item record. So now in that case, what we need to do? Basically, whenever we require this particular item record, basically what we are going to do, we'll try to call this particular item method. So we'll try to call this particular item method to return the multiple item objects here. So it's nothing but collection of item object here. Getting the point. Same way, whenever we are trying to load this particular item here internally, so what we are doing is we are trying to load this particular bid records. But sometimes we don't want to load this particular bid records. So we don't have a scope to perform the particular bid records at this time. But After doing some operations, we'll try to focus on the bit records here. But now what we need to do? So whenever we need only the particular main object, so it's nothing but the item object or the bit object here. So we don't want to load this particular dependent records here. We don't want to load this particular dependent records. So in that case, what we can do, we can go for this particular lazy loading. So in that case, we can go for the lazy loading. So what exactly this particular lazy loading will do? Cutting the point. What exactly this particular lazy loading is going to perform? Basically, whenever we are trying to work on the lazy loading here, now the main object is going to load, and whenever we need the collection of object information, or so how we are going to call item dot get bits or bit dot get items. Bit dot get items. What happens internally? So when we are calling these particular methods internally, again we are going to connect it to the database to load the records here. To load the records here. After loading these records here, so initially, so which is going to make in the cache, and after adding the object into the cache, from the cache the objects are going to return here. From the cache the objects are going to return. So observe carefully. So here we are going to get an advantage, the advantage is nothing but, so performance we are going to get something, we are going to improve the performance. Observe carefully. So first time what happens internally? So we are trying to load the item object, but sometimes, so we need a requirement to load this particular bit records here. Now what we are going to do with the reference of this particular item, so item dot we are going to call get bins. So whenever we are calling this particular get bins internally, what happens? So the request is going to hit to first two is going to hit the cache memory. So inside this particular cache memory, so whether we are having the data or not, so which is going to identify if the data is not available, from what will happen internally, so which is going to connect it to the database to load the data. Once the data is going to load it, so it's going to save the data into cache. From the cache the objects are going to return here, right? So here with the reference of this particular lazy loading, whenever we require the dependent object here, we can call the dependent object information. And along with this, what happened internally, we are going to get a performance information here because of this particular cache. And whenever we are trying to load this particular eager loading, basically eager loading, what happens internally, even though we don't want to load this particular bit records, we don't want to load the dependent object information, but what happens internally, the dependent objects also it's going to load it when we are trying to work with the eager loading here. When we are trying to work with the eager loading, what happens here, with the reference of this particular item, the dependent objects are going to load it here. So there is no condition here. Without the condition the objects are going to load it here. But now here what happens internally, we are trying to wasting our memory here. Basically, so we need only item information. So we don't want to this particular the dependent object information. But even though we don't want to load this particular dependent information, but what happened here? Whenever we are trying to work with this particular eager loading, the dependent objects are going to load it. While loading the main dependent is nothing but the main object here. While loading this particular main object, we are trying to load the dependent object here. So these are the lazy loading and eager loading. So the same example we identified in the last class in Hibernate here. Basically, how we are going to identify with the reference of eager fetching and lazy fetching. So let me provide. You can see fetch mode lazy. Fetch mode lazy. So carefully observe. I want to provide the simple example one more time. You can see using this particular criteria, what I'm doing is I'm trying to load the object information. Here also same object we are trying to use item and bid. So how we are using bid information item dot get bids here. Whenever we are trying to call this particular item dot get bids here, so one more SQL query we are going to see. So we are trying to launch this particular Hibernate main. Once this particular application is launched, so we need to focus on this very carefully here. We are going to have three SQL statements here. We are going to have three SQL statements here. First one SQL query and second SQL query and dot SQL query. Get the point. So why we are getting three SQL queries here? Because of one item is having the dependent two records here. The one item having two dependent records here. Because of this, we are having three records. Now you can see, so this is the item information. So now carefully observe here. Here we are having item table here. So AR dot item. From you can see from AR like airline dot AR underscore item. So airline is a schema and this is the table we created. Getting the point. So now this is the item table information loading with the reference of this particular item table. Internally, you can understand here we are loading bid records. You can see from AR underscore bid. We are loading bid records here. So here we are having the condition here. With the reference of this particular bid, we are having the item ID. With the reference of this particular bid, we are loading, sorry, with the reference of this particular item, we are loading bid records. Same way, we'll try to one more query. Now, understand here, this is the query. Here also same, airline dot bid from airline dot AR underscore bid and bids dot item ID. With the reference of this particular bid ID, we are loading the particular, sorry, item ID, we are loading bid record here. Okay, so back here, now we identified how exactly the lazy loading is working. Same way, we need to work with eager loading. How exactly this particular eager load is going to work. So Eclipse is taking little time to load the data. So once this particular billing workspace is completed, we'll try to run the same example one more time with using this particular eager loading. Now, understand carefully here what exactly we are trying to work on this particular example. Here I want to provide, here we are not going to see the same three SQL records here. So we'll try to focus on the only one here, only one selection statement here. So now you can see, so this is a item related select query. So you are not going to find any other select queries here. So why we are not finding other queries here? Because we are trying to load eager fetching here. Getting the point. So we are trying to work with eager fetching. So this is very important here. This is very important here. Okay. Now we understand here eager fetching and lazy fetching here. So back to here, the final one, cascading here. So basically, We already discussed this particular cascading in the previous example here. Now, how exactly this particular cascading is going to work? Basically, whenever we are trying to work with association, so whether it is a one-to-one or one-to-many or many-to-many, right? So what we need to do, whenever we are trying to update the parent information, we'll try to update the same information into the dependent table, because we are having so relation between the main table and dependent table here. But how we are going to make the relation here? Irrespective of here this particular cascade here, we are going to have save or update or delete and cascade all. So these are the types of this particular cascading is going to work. Getting the point? Now here, what exactly we are going to do? With the reference of this particular cascade here, we'll try to update with the reference of this particular cascade, whenever we are trying to update the main table, so when we are having this particular relation to the dependent table, the dependent table also it's going to update. Same way, when we are trying to delete the main table record, with the reference of main table record, the dependent table records also it's going to delete here. Getting the point? So inside this particular cascading, we already discussed in the Hibernate. So what are the different types of cascades we are having? What are the types of different types of cascades? So first one, save hyphen update here. So only which is going to applicable, save or update. If we are trying to delete, the dependent table records will not delete here. Getting the point? So for that case, we can go for the save or update. And another one, delete. Another one, delete here. So basically, when we're trying to work with this particular delete, what happens internally? Only when we're trying to delete the main table, the dependent table records are going to delete here. And irrespective of other than this particular delete, the save or update here, what happens internally? So the child records, the child table records, we are not going to update here. Right. And here we are having all. With the reference of this particular all here, what exactly we are going to do? All the operations, whether saving or updating or deleting, all the operations, so which is going to applicable to the child records here, or we can call it as a child table here. So these are about this particular cascade is going to work here. So now we need to understand here when we are trying to work with association. Basically, this cascading is going to work on the relation tables here. So it's nothing but association. And so here we want to provide here. So these features are going to provided by the different services. So services is nothing but one of the Hibernate also is going to provide these are the features, because along with Hibernate we are going to have different ORM. So here we are going to have the different ORM tools here. Right. So in that only we are trying to discuss with one of the ORM tool, something called Hibernate here. Okay. So now we understand here how we can work with Spring with Hibernate here. So basically, if we want to work with the Spring with Hibernate, so what is the main class we need to focus? The main class here we need to focus on the Hibernate template here. Hibernate template, because in the previous example we identified how exactly the Spring JDBC is going to work. But now you can see we don't have this particular Hibernate template here. So now what we need to do, we need to focus on we need to add the appropriate jar here. So what is the jar we need to add here? Hibernate ORM. Sorry, Spring ORM, not Hibernate ORM. So Spring ORM jar we need to add. And along with this, what we need to do, we need to work with one more package here, Hibernate here. So here we cannot work with a Hibernate. So this particular Hibernate specific to the Hibernate here. But here we need to work with Spring with Hibernate here. So let me create a different package here. So Eclipse is taking little bit time here. Oh, okay. Here I want to create package here. Com dot java technology dot spring hyphen hibernate. What happened? Okay, hyphen is not taking here. Let me try with underscore. Okay, so hyphen is not working. So that I created so observe here. So we'll try to download this particular ORM file, and here we are trying to work with this particular ORM, and we need to focus on the which version we are trying to work here. So 327. Let me add this particular 327 jar. Observe here, I want to download this particular ORM jar. Here I want to add this particular Spring ORM jar, and later what we are going to do. So which is downloading here. After downloading here, we'll try to focus on the whether this particular Hibernate template is added or not. Okay. Now let me open. So now you can see Hibernate template is added. So which is available inside the package called Hibernate 3. Right. So basically, based on the version, the package is going to change. From the 3 onwards, Hibernate 3, Hibernate 4, and Hibernate 5. Right. So whenever we are trying to work with the Spring ORM, what happens internally? Here, it's going to depend on the version here. Based on the version, the package is going to change. Okay, back to here, we understood Hibernate template. Okay, let me enable this particular Hibernate template. I want to open this particular Hibernate template class, and internally what exactly this particular template class will contain. Now you can see, so first, this is the default constructor. Second constructor, which is expecting session factory. Because this particular session factory, we already discussed in the previous example when we are trying to work with Hibernate here, how exactly the session factory is working. And so now you can see after property set. Basically, this is the life cycle of the bean here. Right. So now we understood the constructor. Here we are having one method. So one method called allocate here. Here we are not going to work on this particular method. So what are the other operation, like what are the other methods we are having? So we need to focus here. Using this particular template here. So execute here. So we can work with this particular execute Hibernate callback. When we are trying to work with any transaction related, we are going to work with a Hibernate callback here. And so this is deprecated. So from the which version is it deprecated here? So this also one more method to work with transaction related. But here we want to check with the other method. Basically, we want to insert the data. You can see get session. So whenever we are trying to call this particular get session internally, we are going to load the session object here. And here with the reference of different conditions, we'll try to load the session here. So now you can see if any condition is not satisfied, we are trying to load from the session factory dot current session. Okay, and get session we identified. So this is a session factory with the reference of session. We are going to create a session factory and get method. So now observe here, using this particular get method, we'll try to load the object here. So now we can see, so here we are going to specify the name of the class and ID here. And along with this, so we are going to load the load method also available, and load all. Here we need to specify the all the classes here, and refresh methods contains a bit initialize. Okay, so you can see more on inside this particular Hibernate template class. So what exactly the Hibernate templates class will contain, right? And back to here, and here whenever we are trying to work with this particular Hibernate template here, what happens internally? So most of the code, so whatever the configuration code we used in the specific Hibernate example, all the Hibernate specific related information we are not going to write here. Basically, Hibernate template is going to take care of the basic configuration here. So just we need to focus on the business logic here to work with the database here. Right. Because in the previous example, we identified when we are trying to work with the JDBC template here. Same way, we are going to work with the Hibernate template here. So to work with this particular Hibernate template here, so what exactly we need to focus here? Getting the point. So to work with this particular Hibernate, first we need to create the information, right? So now what we are going to do? We'll try to work with the XML configuration file. So later we are going to work with the annotation example here. Getting the point. So to work on this particular XML configuration, what we need to do here, I want to create a one class here. First model class I want to create, employee. Inside this particular Spring underscore Hibernate package, I'm creating one model class here, something called employee. Long ID I want to provide name of the employee and employee ID department and so role. Getting the point. So these are the some properties we are going to work here, and later select all and generate and setters and getters and work with serializable concepts and let me generate the default serial version ID. Getting the point. Now we created one model class. So basically I want to create one service class. Let me go for the employee service. So here what exactly we are going to work? Public will check with the void only. Save employee. Here what we need to do? Employee. Right. So later we can add another method, but now what I will need to do, I need to create a one class here. Employee service IMPL. Using this particular employee service IMPL, I want to load employee service. Here I want to unimplement. So save method. Sorry, save employee. And basically I want to work with employee DO. Getting the point. So employee service, here we are going to work with business logic, and inside this particular employee DO, so what we are going to do, we'll try to focus on the database logic here. So let me create a employee DO interface here. So this is the interface we created, and here public void save employee. Right. So this is the interface we created. Let me save all the classes here. So here now what I am going to do, I need to create the DAO implementation class. So to create this particular DAO implementation class, first what we need to do? We need to create a one class here. So DAO IMPL. IMPL is nothing but implementation. And implements DAO. Here I want to work with this particular DAO. And here, now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to work with Hibernate template. Hibernate template, right? So using this particular template here, template dot save object. Now, so this is the business class and the database class we created. But now what we need to do? So if I'm going to, okay, let me create a one main class here. So what is the main class we need to create? Spring Hibernate main, and here I want to click on the main method and finish here. Basically, so auto void, simple example we need to work here. So what is the basic package? Yeah, this is our basic package. Here, where is our main class? Spring Core main. What I want to do, I want to load this particular application context into this particular class. Right. Here, getting the point. Now, what is the file we are loading? Spring configuration. But here we are not going to work with Spring configuration. Here we are going to work with Spring-Hibernate configuration or Spring_Hibernate configuration. So let me create a configuration file. So again, it is not responding. We need to wait couple of minutes. Okay. So now here what I want to do, Spring underscore. No, actually I'm trying to provide the XML configuration example only here. So initially when we're trying to work with the Spring 4, so how exactly we provided the configuration? The same configuration we are working with the Spring Hibernate here. Later we can move on to the annotation example here. So we need a XML configuration here. So now you can see, so here you can see XML here. I want to create a XML configuration, Spring_Hibernate_XML configuration, finish. So this is all about the XML configuration. Let me delete this particular file. Here I want to change Spring_Hibernate_configuration example. Okay, so we created this file. Back to here, where is our file? The Spring configuration file where we are having. So this is our configuration file. What I need to do, I want to copy all and I want to paste it into this. Here, I don't want to use this particular default init method and because we already discussed in the previous example. So 3 version I want to use. Observe. Okay. Not only this, we'll go for this particular one more file, spring-jdbc. This I want to copy actually. I want to copy the spring-jdbc. Okay. Here we are working context here. Okay, where we use the base package information. Okay, so here we used it. Okay, so we'll try to use the same this only, but only the difference here. I want to copy this. I want to copy. Now observe here. Sorry. Here I want to change. Okay. Context, and we'll also use 3 version, and I don't want to use any other than this particular configuration. Now you can observe we are into the main method. Getting the point. So let me enable this. So carefully observe here what exactly we are trying to do here. So spring underscore hyphen underscore configuration file. Getting the point. Now, so using this particular configuration file, first we are going to work with XML configuration. Later we are going to work with annotation example. Getting the point. Okay. So but here, if I'm not using this particular auto void, anyone having an idea? If I'm not using the auto void, so what are the steps we need to provide in the configuration or in the classes here? Anyone having any idea? Because so before discussing the auto void, we provided the information how these particular objects are going to dependent here. So being signed property to be added here. Okay. So now we need to focus here. So I'm not going to add this particular auto void concepts here. So basically, go to this particular service IMPL. Inside this particular service IMPL, we are having one property. What is the property we're trying to work here? Something called employee DAO. Here I want to generate setter method for this particular employee DAO. Let me generate this particular setter method. Same way inside this particular Hibernate DAO. Here I want to generate one more setter. Getting the point. So this is the way we are going to set the particular properties. Right. So later, now what I am going to do? We need to create an object of this particular classes here. To create an object of this particular classes, first what we need to do? Let me copy this particular package information. Bean ID. So after this, employee service IMPL. IMPL, I is capital. Okay. Here, what we need to do? Here we need to work with the property name. So what is the name of the property we are having? So inside this particular service IMPL, what is the property we are having? The name of the property is something called employee DEO. So here we need to specify employee DEO and we need to work with the references here. We need to work with the references here. The reference also I'm trying to work with the same, and let me create a one more bean. Bean ID employee DEO and the class we need to provide. Let me copy the package name same. Only the changes here DEO MPL. Internally one more property. So what is the one more property we are having? Something called template. Here we need to work with references here because we need to create a Hibernate template object here. So I want to use the reference same. Let me create bean ID template. Class I want to create. So to create a class, what we need to do? We need to copy the package name here. Here I want to create this particular package here. Getting the point. But internally we identified here Hibernate template having constructor injection. Constructor injection. So that we can work on the constructor injection. So here we need to provide the session factory. Right. The references I'm providing session factory. So now what we need to do? So basically we need to focus on the session factory object here. Let me create bean ID. Sorry. So this session factory and class we need to provide. If you understand here, session factory is a interface here. Getting the point. Session factory is a interface, but we need to focus on the implementation class. So what is the implementation class? For this particular session factory, we are going to have local session factory bean. So now you can see local session factory bean. We need to focus on the Hibernate 3 because Hibernate template we are working on the 3 version. The same session factory also we need to focus on the 3 version. Let me copy this particular class name. I need to provide here, and here I want to work with the package name. So this is our package name. Cancel. Sorry. Let me open one more time. So I want to open one more time this particular local session factory bean. So carefully observe here. Here we need to focus on the again constructor properties information. Now you can see first one here data source here. Getting the point. So now you can see internally which is loading configuration class. So here it is a configuration class we identified in the previous example when we are trying to discuss with you the specific Hibernate information. Getting the point. Configuration class. So this is the main class, and internally resource classes, mapping resource, mapping locations, and Hibernate Hibernate properties. Getting the point. So these are the properties here. So we need to work on these are the properties here, and along with this we are having data source also. Where is the data source property? Resource properties, transaction manager, data source configuration, mapping resource, mapping Hibernate properties, transaction. Okay, let me see data source object here. Okay, so basically here we are having here where they implemented this. Now you can see here they are trying to use the data sources here. Based on this particular thread local, they are trying to work with the data source. Right. So first we need to work on the data source here. So let me move on to the data source here. So here again I want to work with the property. Sorry. Data source. Here I want to work with the references here. So to work with this particular references here, what we need to do, here we implemented Spring Hyphen. This is a data source configuration. This is the data source configuration. Now we understood reference I provided here. And here what we need to do, here we need to change the schema. So to change the schema, what we need to do, because we created in the previous example Hibernate EX. This I want to use. Getting the point. So this is we use here. So later, okay, we provided data source. But here if you observe, we are having mapping resource. So why we need to use the mapping resource? Basically, Hibernate is going to create the table for us. Getting the point. So Hibernate is going to create the table for us. So for that, what we need to do? We need to provide the mapping resource here. So to work on this particular mapping resource, basically mapping resource also one of the properties here. Where is a local session factory? I want to copy mapping resource. Paste it here. So when we are trying to work with this particular mapping resource here, so what we need to specify here? Getting the point. Basically, mapping resource which is going to expect as a list tag here. Inside this particular list tag, I want to provide one value tag. Here we need to specify the if you are having any mapping file. If you are having any mapping file here. So let me copy the mapping file information. Because in the previous example, we use the mapping files here. Here I want to copy the message information. So where we need to specify? We need to specify into source directory. Sorry. No, basically already we are having one mapping. So let me create a one more XML file. So this is better. Basically, the mapping file we need to create based on the name of the module class. So what is the name of the module class we are working? So something called employee. Employee.hbm.xml. hbm.xml. Now let me finish here. Open message.hbm file. I want to copy into here. We need to provide the package name. So com.java technology spring underscore hibernate employee id employee id. So let me work with native and what are the properties we are having. So what are the properties we are having, so that we need to work on the mapping file. Another one, so here we need to work with the name. So here we need to work with the name. Now column I want to provide. And where is the employee class? Employee ID and so here we need to work with department and finally what is the another property we are having? Role. Getting the point. So this particular file, where we need to specify? Inside this particular spring hyphen, sorry, spring underscore hyphen underscore configuration file. Here we need to specify the particular file here. Employee.hbm.xml. Getting the point. So these are the employee.hbm.xml. So this particular property we completed. Again, we need to work with one more property. So what is the one more property we need to work? Here we need to work with Hibernate properties. So because we're having Hibernate specific properties. We're having Hibernate specific properties here. Internally, here we need to work with key value pair. Getting the point. Here we need to work with key value pair here. So what are the key value we need to work here? Let me work on the props because it is a property and so property key. Basically, the property key is going to take as a string and value also which is going to take as a string. Let me open the Hibernate properties. First one, Postgres driver. Inside this particular driver class we provided. Where is our configuration file? driver class. So URL, username and password. HBM to DDL auto. First one, I want to work with HBM to DDL auto. So here we need to work with update. Update. One more property. What is the one more property we are having? Schema. So here schema I want to provide. Okay, schema also we provided. And another property. So dilate here. So dilate also sorry, dilate also we need to specify. So this is the dilate. Final one. Final one. What we need to specify? So SQL query. Getting the point. So these are the Hibernate properties. So these are the Hibernate properties we need to specify. Carefully observe all we specified inside this particular session factory. All we specified inside this particular session factory. Getting the point. Now what we need to do? Now what we need to do? Because all the classes we created. Go back to the main class. So let me copy this. Where is our Hibernate? Spring Hibernate. Here we need to specify service, and here what we need to specify something called service we created. And here first I need to create employee object. So set name. Here I want to specify Hibernate. And role I want to specify. Hibernate role. emp dot department. Hibernate underscore department. Employee ID. Something called HB underscore or HB 6543. Okay. 6543 and service dot save employee. Observe carefully what we are doing here. So with the reference of this particular employee service, we are going to call save employee. Let me see all the classes we saved or not. We need to save all the classes, and I want to run the same example. So we need to see if we miss something, we are going to get an exception here. No such method here. Okay. Session factory. Data source. Okay. Setting the property, maybe no such method, data source. So we'll try to debug this. Basically, so while creating the session factory object, we are getting an error. So we'll try to continue to first debug why we are getting an error, like what we missed here. So we'll try to resolve this particular exception. Later, we'll try to continue with the same example. So once everything is going fine, we'll move on to the annotation example here. Okay. If anyone having any questions, so you can ask me tomorrow class, because the same example is not yet completed today. Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow the same example.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.